Hola, hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Espero que están disfrutando el fin de semana, tal vez están descansando, tal vez están, no sé qué están haciendo hoy, pero espero que todo esté bien con ustedes. En este momento me gustaría hacer un video en que, en mi opinión, creo que es un video muy útil porque quiero compartir algunos consejos con ustedes, especialmente para las personas que tienen una vida muy ocupada y parece que nunca tiene tiempo para aprender nada nuevo, especialmente a mis madres, si tienes hijos y siempre están ocupadas, nunca tengo tiempo para hacer nada más. Así que eso es mi caso también y todavía trato de hacer tiempo para hacer algo que me gusta hacer porque es muy importante para hacer tiempo, para hacer algo que disfrutan hacer. Así que en este momento voy a compartir con ustedes cuáles son maneras que pueden hacer tiempo para aprender un idioma. Okay, so in this video, I just want to share some information or some consejos, some advice con mis madres, my mothers out there who might be interested in learning a language, but have a difficult time, number one, figuring out where to start. And number two, finding out ways to balance doing something you enjoy doing and still being 100% committed as a mom, because as you know, when you're a mom, your world revolves around those babies. My world revolves around my babies. Like, they're the first thing I think about when I wake up in the morning. They're the ones that give me motivation. They're the ones that give me the energy. Like, when I feel discouraged, I remind myself why I'm doing what I'm doing is because I'm not only working hard for them financially, but also my goal is to be a wonderful, strong role model for them. It's very important. So how in the world do you find time to continue to contribute 100% into being a mom, but yet find time to do something you enjoy? It's difficult. It's difficult, but it's very important. And learning Spanish is something that's kind of helped me realize that, because before finding the hobby, finding something that I was quite passionate about, I'm going to be honest, my world just revolved around my children, which is not a bad thing. But at the same time, I also learned that it's extremely important to find that little time for yourself to do something that you enjoy. Find some time to do something for you. It's very important to do that, because when we do that, we kind of recharge ourselves so that we can continue to operate at our fullest capacity to continue to pour into our babies. So that's one thing I learned for sure, is that it's important to make time to do something that you love. So in this video, I want to share with my moms out there who maybe they're looking for a hobby. They're trying to find ways to balance, how can I do something I love and how can I still function fully as a mom? How can I do both? Because I struggle with that. So for my moms out there that's thinking that and who has been wanting to learn a language but don't know exactly where to start and don't know exactly how to balance everything, I just want to share with you some ways that help me to kind of do it all at the same time. So for me, the most very important, useful thing that has helped me throughout this language learning process that I want to share with you all is to find other moms with the same passion and drive to learn a language that you have, because who else can relate? Who else can relate to how it is being a mom than another mom? Who else can relate to trying to balance everything else and then still being a mom as well than another mom? I'm always talking in my videos about mi amiga Margarita. It's funny, I actually met her almost 4 years ago. I might be wrong. She'll correct me with this in a little bit. But I met her on the application Hello Talk when I was finding some people there to study with. And she actually messaged me and we started talking about our language learning journey, how long we've been learning Spanish. She had just started learning Spanish. I had just started learning Spanish, and we had almost zero, level zero with the language. And it's so funny because now both of us are pretty much on the same level. We are very near fluent. Okay. We're very near fluent. And, we always joke and laugh about how much of a mess we sound when we first started learning the language, because we were like always having to use our translators, couldn't understand nothing, couldn't say anything. But now we're able to hold a conversation, and it's just so amazing to see our progress throughout the years, not only with that, but also knowing that we pushed each other these past few years to learn the language and to stick with it. Like, we held ourselves accountable for it. And who else can relate to you than another mom who knows how it is to be so busy with your kids and how difficult it is to be talking on the phone 1 second and then telling your kids to be quiet the next, another mom. But we don't even, like, it's funny. We'll be talking on the phone and then our kids be yelling in the background, and we're so used to it because we're both moms where it doesn't even bother us, versus trying to practice with someone who just don't know how that is, who may not have any kids. So that's why I say find other moms that has the same journey, or that's on the same journey as you are, who has the same challenges as you are as being a mom, but trying to find time to do something that you love. Something else that helps me a lot with learning a language and finding that balance between being a mama and doing something that I love is just trying to find a little block of time to study each day. Not only to study Spanish, but to just pause, relax, and have a little time for me. Because something that I've learned, especially with Learning Spanish has been like my, ¿cómo se dice eso? Like escape, like unwind, like recharge my brain time. When I'm having my mommy time and I'm studying my language, like I'm recharging so that after that moment that I'm able to continue to pour. Like, it was a saying that I seen a while back on this meme, and I loved it. And it said, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. And that's something that I kind of learned throughout this process, is that, oh my gosh, I'm always pouring into my children. But what am I doing for myself? So I try to make it a habit, si puedo, if I can, to just carve out a little time of my day to just focus and study Spanish. That is my time. That's my time to study. That's my time to recharge. That's my time to refill my cup so that I can fully be able to operate and continue to pour into my babies every single day. But and you know what? I think a lot of times we don't do that as moms because we feel guilty. We feel guilty that we feel like we're taking away time from our children, but that is not so. It's very important to make time to do something that we enjoy, whether it's learning the language, whether it's, I don't know, some other hobby, whatever it is out there. But it's just important to find that time to do it. Working out, I don't know, doing yoga, going running. We can't operate on E. It's important for us to find time to do something that we love. So something that helps me is just finding that little time every day, whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's 20 minutes, whether it's 30 minutes to an hour, just to have mommy time, just to think and just to study my Spanish. So you have to kind of try to find a way to work that into your schedule, because it's very necessary, not only to learn a language, but to refill yourself, to recharge your battery in order to continue to operate and to continue to pour and spend time with your babies as well. Something else that I enjoy doing that kind of helps me find balance between studying language and spending time with my babies as well. I keep saying my babies, they're 9 and 10, but of course they're still my babies. With my girls, with my daughters, is finding ways to basically kill two birds with one stone. So something that I do is I volunteer. There are tons of things you can do to volunteer in your community that involves Spanish. If you look at your local library, one thing that I do here before all of this COVID-19 stuff kind of took over is I volunteered at a program through the library called Monos a Corazones. It's a terrific program that they actually teach moms or parents how to speak English. And while they have the moms in one room learning English, they have their children in another room with tutors helping them with their homework, because that's a challenge that the communities have with a lot of Spanish-speaking families who have kids that speak only, or that can speak English and Spanish, but their parents only speak Spanish. And there's a communication barrier there when it comes to communicating with the teachers and principals and so forth. So it's a wonderful program that we have here through our local library. And they are always looking for volunteers to come and help teach the parents. It's for parents, but so far it's just all moms in there, but it helps teach the moms how to speak English. So of course, when someone reached out to me to ask if I was interested in doing it, I said, yes, sign me up, please, because that's a perfect time for me to still contribute and get my children involved while I'm in the other room with the parents, helping them learn English. My daughters are in the other room with the kids, playing with them. So it's just being that role model, showing them how to give back to your community, but yet at the same time, an opportunity to practice the language. So that's something that I definitely recommend, is to look at your local library to see what opportunities they have available for you and your children, but mainly for you to get involved, to help out with your community and practice your language. It's a very fast, efficient way to build onto your vocabulary and build onto your conversational skills as well. Something else that you can do is volunteer at your kids' school. Because the school district, most of the time, I know here there's quite a few kids in their class that speak Spanish, that don't speak a lot of English. So the teachers are always looking for volunteers to come in and read to the class period, whether it's in English or Spanish, but just try to dedicate, even if it's one day a month, to go into the classrooms or to volunteer on a field trip and communicate with the kids that probably can't speak English. That's a way that you can kind of still, like I said, kill two birds with one stone. Still practicing your language, but yet you're spending time with your kids as well. So that's something that's been helpful for me, is just finding those volunteer opportunities within my community. So that's something else that I kind of encourage you all to do as well, to kind of balance both being present with your children, but yet still listening, getting that listening skills and conversational skill practice as well when you are learning a language. Something else that I try to make a habit, which is something I encourage as well, is to expose your children to the language. Okay, so here's the deal. There was a time where I was like, okay, I want to teach my kids how to speak Spanish. I'm going to teach them how to speak Spanish. I'm going to have the books at the table every Sunday. We're going to have my index cards. We're going to have my whiteboard. I'm going to teach them how to speak Spanish. They were not going for it at all. The first day they felt like they were at school in class and they just weren't interested, and I was trying to make it fun and it just didn't work. So I was like, okay, this isn't gonna work. But one thing that I noticed is that when we're in the car riding along and I have my Spanish music on, they like the music. And just like I've said in previous videos, one way that kids learn languages is through music. That's something that we did in the past naturally when learning English. Listen to those songs, listen to the music, and they can do the same with listening to Spanish. They have a few favorite Spanish artists that they like listen to. They have a few favorite songs, and even though they have no idea what they're saying, they love listening to the songs. So that's a wonderful way to kind of find a balance too. And include your kids and just expose them to the language that you are learning, is by riding in the car, turning on the radio, and then you're getting your listening practice in, and they're just dancing and singing along in the back, and everyone's happy. So one show that we enjoy watching is Nailed It on Netflix. Well, they actually have a Nailed It Mexico también in Netflix. So there's been times where I would turn on Nailed It Mexico, and have on the English subtitles, and they were sitting there watching it and just reading the subtitles in English. So they're watching TV, and then I still have my chance. I still have my opportunity to watch TV and listen to my Spanish and learn vocabulary. And at the same time, they're exposing themselves to the language as well. And it's quite funny because they say that, oh, I just don't want to learn Spanish right now. And I'll say, okay, pero ¿por qué no quieres aprenderlo? No quieres aprender español. Creo que es algo muy importante para aprender. And they'll say, because I just don't want to learn it. I just don't want to speak it right now. And it's funny because the thing is, although they don't think they're learning it, they are, because I'm always talking to them every chance that I get in Spanish, and they're automatically picking up those words. So that's why it's very important, especially at a young age, to just continue to make sure you're exposing your kids to the language. And once again, that's a way to find a healthy balance between spending time exposing your kids, but yet finding time to practice at the same time. So overall, those are just a few pointers, a few things that I do to kind of help balance being a busy, full-time working mama, and yet still finding something to do for me, learning a language, something that I enjoy and I'm very passionate about. Finding other moms to connect with that's on the same journey as you, that you can continue to push each other and to encourage each other to reach your goals with learning a language. Volunteering, finding opportunities in your community to volunteer, to give back your time, which is also setting an example for your kids as well as what it looks like to give back to your community. But at the same time, being able to practice the language and learn and help others to learn English as well. Check out your local library, check out school opportunities that you can do. That way you're still making that presence at your school, being involved so your kids can see you're involved, so the teachers can see you're involved, but at the same time you're able to contribute and learn a language as well. Finding that little slither of time every day for you, for your mommy time to study the language is very necessary, not only to better your language, but also to better yourself, because we need that. We need that time to recharge. We need that time to do something that we love so that we can continue to pour into our children as well. And last but not least, make sure you're exposing your kids to the language. You're killing two birds with one stone. You're exposing them to this language, you're teaching them a language, and at the same time you're able to practice as well. So just another wonderful way to find a healthy balance between learning a language and being a busy mom too. So I hope that you find this video useful. If you have some other advice, some tips that you can give to other moms that's learning languages as well, feel free to leave it in the comment section below so that we can continue to help each other, continue to encourage each other on this lovely journey of learning a language. So yes, eso es todo. Espero que tengan buena noche y hasta luego.